Hey guys, what's up? This is Shmuley Hoffman from Entre Filmmaker. I just wanted to do a quick chick-chuck episode because I got an email from Michael Ney asking the following question. It seemed to be a little bit urgent to figure out something. So listen to this. He's asking, hey Shmuley, I used to be a subscriber and so on. Okay, unimportant. Anyway, I'm busy building a new website, but in the meantime, I'm using this as a promo introduction. I'd love to have your honest feedback. So Michael Ney is in Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much for writing, Michael. Michael is, it seems from the email and from, his website is, I think, eaglespiritmedia.com, so you can check it out. Seems to be a video guy and, makes his livelihood with that. So I wanted to actually walk you through, this PDF that he sent me. It's basically kind of a promotional type of introduction. Let's say a new client comes in so that he could send it off to that person in order to convert that lead into a buyer and, doing some work and some projects with him. And I want to go through that document that he's sending out. And it seems from the question that he's asking also is that he wants to make or wants to use that PDF as kind of a basic template for his website. So I want to see what we can improve. I think there's a lot to improve, Michael, that you could do in order to make sure that people really want to work with you and that you present yourself well. So shall we? Let's go over into this kind of weird episode. See you then. Shall we quickly interrupt them?
Yeah.
Okay. Every week, aspiring filmmakers ask me how I got started as an immigrant building my own commercial film production company in such a short period of time. I found basically a way to answer all of you at once in detail. I basically put together a complete blueprint, a practical plan of action for how to start your own production company. Do you want a production company?
Yeah.
Without going into debt or making stupid beginner mistakes. Go to startmyfilmcompany.com and sign up. I walk you through step by step how to make this the most exciting, successful and profitable journey of your life. To create your own money-making film and video production company on a shoestring budget. Visit startmyfilmcompany.com and I see you over there. Shall we go on with the show?
Yeah.
Okay, and back to the show. Okay, here we go. So this is this document that Michael sent me. This seems to be a document that works instead of a website currently. But he asked me, to walk through it. And it seems what Michael indicated in his email that his website would kind of resemble around this kind of PDF presentation. Seems to me that he will or wants to use this presentation. Let's say a lead comes in or a potential client, and in order to presenting himself, he would send him this type of document. So let's go through it, and I give you my take on that. And I just want to let you know that the way how I break things down is not whether I feel or I have kind of an opinion, but it's more kind of based on strategic things that I think make sense from a psychological point of view. It's based on research, it's based on our own testing. It's not, whether this looks nice and it's just my own opinion, but it's really what works. And this is what I want to break down here for you, Michael, and obviously for the rest of our audience. So I want to just show you, this document that you have an idea how it looks like. Here are some talking heads, then some more stuff. The first thing what I would say is, Michael, if you send this to a client, it's way too overwhelming. And that's true for your website. Most people put way too much on their websites, too many buttons, too many menu items to choose from, instead of really having the website geared towards one simple thing. What is the one thing once a visitor or a potential client watches or sees your website, what do you want them to do right afterwards? And if you give them too many choices, nothing will happen, because it's the, what's it called? Paralysis because of analysis or something like that, right? And you'd want to avoid that. So you need to have a very clear set goal. If you offer too much, you lost already, half of the battle. If you want to send out something instead of a website, that's okay, but make it a 1-pager or a 2-pager. So Eagle Spirit Media provides digital media solutions for large and small projects. Michael Ney, whatever he does, specialized in production consultancy from concept to publishing, specifically providing corporate communications and educational courseware, web and social media, and so on. Other services include EPK for film and television, mobile app development. We have an extensive work of professional colleagues in web, video, graphic, and so on. Experience, benefits. Michael, I think you have to really redo this whole thing. As I can see from just browsing over it, right? Let's break it down. Michael's experience, his career, Michael. What I'm basically trying here to do is, Michael, you don't think really about your clients. And I think you are not alone. This is what most people do in pretty much any industry. And the main problem of where this is coming from is because you were so busy over the years of honing your craft, your skills and everything, that you actually forgot what the end game is, what the end result is. And the end result is basically to service and to please your clients and have their goals in mind. You write a lot about Michael's experience, and here again, you write benefits then here, but then is that we can provide faster. I mean, I see it from the client's point of view, right? The client is not interested in your stuff. Your client is not interested, how your process internally is. That's my first part. The second part is you do way too much. I mean, you seem to be a jack of all trades, but it seems like there is nothing where I want to go with. Let's say I want a web video, right? Or I want a graphics or animation. I mean, if I want web video, I go to a guy who does only web video. If I want a graphics animation, I just go to a guy who does graphic animation. Because if I go to a guy like you, I probably, since you do it kind of all, but you probably don't do it on the highest level possible, because we all know it's impossible. So to whom would you go with a knee problem, right? Would you go to the general doctor or to a knee specialist, right? You go to the knee specialist. And here's exactly the same. So I think where it should start is actually not, whether this document works or the website works, but you have to first figure out what is the really best thing you are skilled at and talented and you really want to do. Is it documentary? Is it filming? Is it producing? Is it directing? Make a clear decision. And then from that decision, that will communicate throughout the whole process, throughout the whole document, and throughout the whole website. So I think that's the first flaw. The second flaw is that you talk too much about yourself. I said that earlier. You need to, now knowing what you know best, right? Let's say, I can only speak for myself. So let's make that relevant from here, because it's easier to talk. So I'm interested in not making films for my clients, but that my clients grow with their companies or their organization leaps and bounds. That is my main agenda, my main vision, my main goal. Now, it happens that I use video as a medium to achieve that. I could do it with other things as well, but I chose to do it through video and film advertising, right? So that's a clear decision. Now, what you describe here is basically what I call the vehicle, and you never talk about the destination. The destination should be the goal, and that should be the goal of your client. So you have to eliminate everything you talk about your vehicle, about your car, because nobody is really interested in your car, whether it's a bus or an airplane. But people who come to you are interested in results. That is the destination, right? So then you write, right, experience. So the order of the things introducing, right? And then the experience and then the benefits. So actually the order is totally upside down. The order should be that the benefits are your first paragraph, what you guys are able to achieve, basically your magic bullet that solves me, the client, my major problem, right? So if I talk from myself, my organizations want to grow and they want to, let's say, double in their business, or they want to grow 25%. Your benefits should be big, big, big up here. That should be your first lead in. You need to validate and show the client that you understand their pain points. Once you have done that, then they say, this guy understands me. Let me read further what this guy is all about, right? Then your second paragraph should be how you achieve those benefits, right? What is your angle? In your case, it's obviously film and video production. And now you need to show how you want to achieve those goals for your clients with the help of video production. What is the one thing that you are freaking good at that stands out from the rest, from your competition, and that makes the client say, this is the guy because he understands me and he talks about my goals, not about your goals, Michael, but about their goals. Experience. I think people don't care so much of experience. Instead of experience, it would be better than if you actually put here, let's say 3 thumbnails with your hottest stuff. I mean, you have it actually kind of in your first thing here. It's your show reel. So let's click on the show reel. Let's have a look at that because I'm, dissecting it as if I would be a client, right? So let's see. Let me turn this down. Okay, I move forward. This is exactly what the client would do, right? Because nobody has patience. When we see all this stuff. Okay, so my next thing would be that I think your show reel is not up to date. I mean, go outside and see what's going on. Your stuff in general looks like a bit outdated, like kind of from the 90s, and maybe that's around the time that you produced most of the stuff, let's say the beginning 2000s, 90s, whatever it is. There's a lot of competition out there, but given that we have the internet, people are much more conditioned of really, really nice looking and great footage. The second thing that I would say, if you go through your show reel, it is really not exciting me. It's just like a very mediocre kind of feel to the music. It's like doodling along there. And I think you need to make it really so engaging, but not just for me, but I want to see what is your passion. And when I see your show reel, I don't feel that there's any passion coming through, that there's any thoughts coming through how the music and maybe sound effects interact with the visuals. And the other thing that I see often, I mean, one good thing is that you kept it very short. I think, let me just open it up again. I think you kept it under 2 minutes. That is very smart. It should never be longer than that. Fire up rather in 60 seconds, even though you don't have so much work, but fire that up in 60 seconds, then dragging on for minutes and minutes, because the buying decision will be made whether I want to continue investigating if Michael Ney is the guy who I want to hire within the first 10 till 30 seconds. So therefore, your commercial or your show reel does not need to be longer than that. I see also a lot of repetitions here. Let me just turn off the audio so I can talk actually. There's a lot of repetition, very slow, and it's just like, it's just not cutting for me. And graphics, and so, I mean, this is, your show reel is basically your face. That is what you present to the world, and this is what you will be judged by, right? Next. As a small hint, I see that you put it on Vimeo. As you see, I have already issued, I have a very fast connection, and still Vimeo is just really a sucker platform. And I know many of you filmmakers, you are all on Vimeo, but the access or the speed in which the videos are playing are horrendous. And if you send this to a client, and the film doesn't load quick enough, then guess what will happen? Gets a phone call, he gets an email, and is already distracted and moves away from that. Make sure that whatever player you use, whatever platform for presenting videos you use, that it loads really fast. Next, so we talked about talking about yourself and rather talking about your clients, optimizing what you want to specialize in. We talked about the show reel. I think experience is overrated. Instead of experience, put some real like thumbnails here that you can click on, and then it shows, let's say, 3 of your best videos that you have, and make sure that those videos that represent actually the field that you actually want to work in. So I'll give you an example. If you want to work in advertising, don't put, even though it's a great video, but don't put a bar mitzvah or a wedding video up, even though that's the best you have. But when you do that, then there is also a mismatch, and people will rather hire you then for a bar mitzvah or for a wedding than for, let's say, commercial work or documentary work. Previous clients is a biggie. If you have really, really big clients, then it would make sense to put them actually up here. But I have to say, I mean, you squeezed out pretty much every client that you have worked with. But, you know, what do I care about TAFE? I don't know them. What do I, care about Youth Matters? I mean, put 3 clients up that are the biggest you have. Westpac, I have no idea who that is. Sounds big. University of Sydney sounds big. Sydney Symphony Orchestra sounds big. Documentary Forum is also not like, I mean, it might be big, but it sounds like it's just a bunch of guys who want to hang out there and do something. So again, put 3 or 4 with their logos up here, basically above the benefits or below the benefits. You could write, clients who trust us, and then have 3 till 5, no more, of your really hot clients. Now, here's another thing that seems to be outdated from the 90s. Now, there was always this debate whether we call ourselves, like talking about ourselves in an I do this, I'm doing video production, or we are doing video production, we are helping clients to grow. Or if we talk about third person, like almost make it sound like a third person validation. Someone else wrote it about us. Now, in the 90s and early 2000s, that was probably the major way to go. But since we have a Web 2.0 community, but also business shifted in that way, I think it is much better if you're genuine and if you are talking from your own point of view, because we all know that when you write in the third person, it's not a famous person who wrote it about yourself. It's just you who wrote about yourself. So therefore, it would be really dishonest and kind of lowers the feel of your own personality integrity. And when you write, when we feel that Michael writes about himself in the third person, I want to know who's Michael. I want to know who is he like as a human being. What does he stand for? Because if you stand for something, then people can identify with you, and then they say, you know what, this is a cool guy. I want to work with him. I want to align myself with him. So then you have video production features. There are many technical creative aspects to video production, including, your client doesn't care. Yes, there are processes, but if you describe processes, let's say you want to attract someone who works in the high-end world, right? Let's say high-end commercials or movies, right? Movie trailers, or let's say movies, right? You want to write about like that you are a cinematographer, for example, who uses exclusively the red camera. It's an aspect of showing the client to speak their language, but also to know what they are interested in. I know that for a fact that no matter what kind of results you could get with a DSLR, but at a certain price point, budget, and high-end level of production, if you come with a DSLR, people will not accept that. So those are the things that you might want to put in production features. Other than that, green screen, it's like, okay, who cares? This is all kind of a given. And I think whatever you do in your production should be visible from the examples that you show. If I have great 3D work and I have inserted like people, right, in that 3D environment, I don't need to write that this is a green screen stuff, right, or that it's animation. People will kind of, if they're looking for that, they might not put their finger onto it saying, oh, this is green screen, this is the way how it's being made. But they know what they're looking for, and that's what you want to show them. So what you can expect, that's actually a great lead-in. Create a project vision. A client is really not interested in creating a project vision. Prepare scripting and planning for shoot day. He's not interested in that either. Shoot audio and video on location or in the studio. Okay, that might be it. Or a part of it. Supply all equipment, i.e. money, camera sliding. You know what a client really expect is that you help him reach their goals. And this part, if you have to repeat it, if you didn't do it up here yet, if you want to call it what you can expect, this is what you can write about. Or you can write about, how those goals that you defined earlier, how they will be achieved with what you bring to the table. Next, case studies. Yes, great. So there is something kind of a mismatch in a way. You write all of those things here: courseware, web and social media marketing, ebook production, documentary, drama. And then when I scroll down to your case study, I see actually only talking heads, except down here. So I'm not sure if this is you wanted to categorize it, but let's face it. So if you bring examples, let's say interviews, short documentaries, corporate video, right? Then it's enough. I mean, if I have seen one thumbnail, then I have seen all those two as well, right? They look pretty much the same. So you don't need to give me three. Again, we want to scale it down because there's no person in the world that will read this whole document. So you want to really capture them and engage them as quick, as emotional, and as possible, so that they say, wow, this guy, I want to work with him. Just from each thing, one sample, and then it would be great. Yes, you have here a link, and I hope those links go to really something that is really blowing them away. If it's not blowing them away, then I think it is pretty pointless. Now, going forward, existing background interview. Now you write, for example, about 2-3 lights, something depending on the situation, the quality of the front light. I mean, they really don't care. Again, right? They see something on the thumbnail or when they click on the video, they see it and they know if this is something they are looking for. You cannot convince them by talking about how many lights you actually use. I think your thumbnails, you see another major mistake that I see is, do you see how horrendous the quality is? In the end, this will reflect back on your company, on yourself. You are not very detail oriented. That is what it shows me if I have to evaluate whether I want to hire Michael Ney or not. If the image quality, as someone who produces images, is in his own presentation substandard, then I would assume whatever you would create for me is probably substandard too. And don't get me wrong, Michael. It is not that the client looks at it and breaks it down like I do here. But what we are talking about is a subliminal feel of whether I trust this guy, I want to give him the business, or is there something like, something doesn't feel just right? Most people make decisions based on what feels right. So then you have short documentary. I would put all of this, I like the case study thing, put it all on one page. And have this stuff here, the sidebar, make it lay out basically vertically and put this basically either on the top, this is all important, and you have it on each page. You can have it on each page. Why don't you put it make it here a little line and put it all underneath? Because if people don't like what they see here, they are really not interested in here. But if you show me here how awesome you are, I will find your contacts down here. So more case studies, I would put them on 1 or maximum 2 pages, depending on what you want to achieve. And then let's say, so if the first page, let's break it down, 3 pages, the goal and how you want to achieve that and to whom you are catering, then obviously with previous clients or with, what would be great to have also testimonials on here, just like 3 vertically, right? Horizontally, 3 thumbnails with photograph of the people, and then just talking about how amazing it is to work with you and how you have achieved their goals actually. So, since working with Michael, we have increased our output 25% and having increased our revenue 25% since then, right? That's a hard fact. I have actually even come to notice when we send an email out, you know what we're doing? We're not just showing them the percentage anymore. We're showing them actually how much money that translates actually. And so if we increased 25%, we are also writing that represents $5 million in increase of their previous years, right? You want to give people a vision, what is possible to achieve. And percentage is good, but you have to always frame it, how much does it translate actually into dollars and cents? Because that's what people can really relate to. Okay, anything else? Let me see. Oh, yes. My third page would be probably a call to action. And the call to action could be like, if having maybe some more testimonials, 3 more testimonials, and then underneath some text saying, if you want to grow your company 56%, then call me today, that you have a strong call to action. What could be also good if you could have a link or even a little button here on your third page, inquire a project, right? And then that would lead to a questionnaire. So we have that kind of on our side. I'll show it to you. So you see, this is basically what we do, right? Basically, in one little slideshow, basically the presentation, what we are. Then right underneath we have basically video testimonials, right? Because people want to see, what have they worked with. Then as you see, we work with, dozens and dozens of clients, but I used the best one we have, right? Or the biggest one we have worked. And then we go into, as you see, commercial ads, university, schools, summer camps, and so on, branding ads, and so on, right? Pretty straightforward, not much text. I think the main flaw of my website is, where is the call to action? I mean, here you see is a call to action, get started, right? It would be great to have it down here as well. Well, we haven't implemented that, but if you go to get started on the next page, right, of this here, then you will be brought automatically to a questionnaire. And on that questionnaire, they fill out just a few questions. And what this does is, often those people, they're just excited and they would just want to talk to you. But it could be very well be that they have only like a really minor budget. So we don't want to deal with those people. So this weeds out the people we want to be in touch with, because there's only so many people you can serve. And we've asked probably somewhere, what's your marketing budget, and then the project budget. And from there, we can read out already, is this a serious client or not? Because if this is not a serious client, you don't need to get with them on the phone and waste your time. This questionnaire basically eliminates that we always want to be in touch with any potential client. And I think that's a major mistake, because if you spend, let's say, 80% of your time with figuring out who's the right client, there will be an enormous amount of clients that will slip through, the right ones, that you haven't called either properly or on time because you were busy with doing work for all these other potential clients that don't fit your bill, that don't fit what you want to do. So since it was such a long episode, I had to go on the treadmill because I didn't want to waste my time and go to the gym. And here I was watching this together with you, 30 minutes or a little more, and used my time also to work out. I hope this tutorial, Michael, and whoever else watches it, this helped you and you can improve upon that. Obviously, this is never perfect. There's always something else, or there's something that I'm missing out. But I hope, the main thing is that I get you guys thinking in the right direction, experimentally, and testing things and not taking things just for what it is, or we have done it since 20 years already and therefore we keep doing it even though it doesn't work well. So if you like more of this stuff, just below leave your name and your email, and I'll send you really goody stuff over there. And till our next episode, right? Till then, bye.